Just a reminder that being the light in the world doesn't just mean do good deeds, doesn't just mean, give to the poor. It means all those things, right? But it also means to look different than the world. And in Matthew chapter 5, Jesus talks about all what it means to be the light of the world. We find here in verse number 14, you are the light of the world, a town built on a hill that cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So yes, good deeds, very big part of it. But again, it's also through how you act differently than the rest of the world. Matthew chapter 5, Jesus tells us in verse 22, but I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, in the verse before that, it says, you have heard that it was said to the people long ago, you shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. And it literally says, if you hate a brother or sister, you will be subjected to judgment, just like how if you were to murder somebody. Same thing here in verse 27, you have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery, but I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. So whenever it comes to holding grudges, the world, anybody, this is me too, y'all, I'm guilty of this. Immediately, when somebody does you wrong, you want to hate them, you want to judge them, you want to confront them, you want to eye for an eye type of mentality, right? But we see that if you hate your brother or sister, you're going to be subjected to judgment. And we see here in verse 41 in Matthew 5. Y'all, this was all done on the Sermon on the Mount, by the way. Verse 43, Jesus says, you have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. God causes his sun, the sun, to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. The whole point here is to be different than those who hate their enemies and say, oh, I hate them. But instead, we're called to love our enemies. And the world, I'm someone like this. I was guilty of this, looking at women, me looking at men with lust in our eyes. Again, Jesus says to be the light in the world and tells us to be different than that, but to love our brothers and sisters in Christ. Y'all, to be the light of the world is to shine on all the darkness, and that people are going to hate you for that. We see here in Matthew chapter 5, verse 11, blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me, because of Jesus. But then here it says, rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. And my point is, to be the light in the world is to be different than the world.